Hello and welcome to another BWhack review. Today we are going to be taking a look at Joey Logano's Shell-Pennzoil Darlington Throwback for 2025. So always take a look at the box. Got your typical Elite box. Got the chrome foil Elite logo. Same stuff down this side. They made a total of 116 of these things. Standard finish. Same stuff. Register your car at Logano Garage. And you of course have your copyright and such on the bottom of the box. Here is the car itself. Now this car is, of course, a throwback to Cale Yarborough's Holly Farms poultry car from the 70s. Because Joey Logano just won his third championship, he wanted to honor Cale Yarborough, the three-time champion. Cale Yarborough also actually helped him early in his career. Early in his career, ironically enough, at Darlington, Cale Yarborough actually drove a car around with Joey in the car to show him how to run Darlington. So that's really cool. And they did a great job recreating this paint scheme. Now, to some people, they're going to say, the Cale Yarborough looks a little more orange, Joey looks a little more red. As I said in the video when I reviewed a different version of this Cale Yarborough car, it was the Napa 50th anniversary version. I'm still not convinced what color this car actually is. Because if you look up photos of the Cale Yarborough car, you can find photos that look more orange, kind of like this Diecast is. But then there's also photos that definitely look red. So I don't know if it just ran both orange and red, if it's all just lighting and cameras back then. And no, basing it on the diecast specifically is not a good telltale, because there's people that are like, oh, well, if the diecast is orange, it must be orange. No. Old school action, late 90s, early 2000s action, that's not good. This is a car from, the Cale Yarborough was produced in 2000. You remember that Curtis Turner pink car that I reviewed? That the real car is a metallic lilac purple. It's not pink like the diecast is. They were just kind of probably finding one single photo and guessing from there. But the most HD photo of the car I've ever seen was a photo of the car sitting on the pit road at Michigan, and it 100% looks red. So maybe it is red. I don't know. Anyways, let's get back to the Joey diecast. They did a great job. It even has a darker yellow. I remember there were people that thought it was the regular yellow, but in person, this is a much darker yellow than the usual Pennzoil yellow. You can even kind of see it's hard to tell in the diecast. The real car, it's easier to tell that the Pennzoil logo is a different color. You can tell in the diecast too in person, but on camera, not looking that different. Do I have a... Yeah, here's a Pennzoil car. You can see, yeah. You can definitely see it's a very different yellow from the usual yellow. But anyways, they do get points for a lot of things on this car too. You can see they actually did change the number font to closer match the original number font. It's obviously a 22, not an 11, so it looks a little different. But they also use the old school Pennzoil logo on the side. I always love when sponsors use their old logos. That is always, you gain extra points for me always for using the old school logos. Even the Shell logo is the old school Shell font. And yeah, for the people that are acting oh, it's why is it the normal Shell? Because that is the Shell. The Shell design they still use to this day started all the way back in the 60s. So that is an era accurate Shell logo. But the font is actually cool to see that old school Shell font. But just a really nice looking throwback. Anyways, let's get down to sponsors. On the hood you have Pennzoil and Shell. Got Ford Mustang number 22. Down the side, you have Shell and Pennzoil. Got Ford Performance down there. Back here, you have Hunt Brothers Pizza and Auto Trader. On the C post, you have Discount Tire and Snap-on. And on the B post, you have Ford, PPG, Mazak, AAA, and Coca-Cola. Got Joey Logano's name in the old school font that was on that Cale Yarborough car. That's also a nice touch. Does have the Goodyear blimp 100 years as well as the retro NASCAR logo right there. On the back, you got Shell, Pennzoil. You have actually the 22 Crew logo where they actually did leave it the retro 22 font. Another cool touch. Got Ford and number 22. Got Shell and Pennzoil on the deck lid as well as Cap Gemini on the roof. This is number 79. But yeah, it is. I remember a lot of people being like, why didn't they do the old Shell? Because the Shell has been around for longer than a lot of people realize. Those are both, 70s era accurate logos. But it looks really weird to see them together like that just because that's still the Shell they use to this day. Got the same stuff down the other side. Let's take a look under the hood. You got Shell-Pennzoil under there. For some reason, the normal Pennzoil logo. Come on, Lionel. Unless that was accurate, but I don't know why they would put the Pennzoil retro logo everywhere else except right there. But got your typical engine detail and such. Deck lid does open. This is an Elite. And the roof flaps, of course, do open. And there's the inside of the car if you want to see that. Now, why don't we take a quick look at the Cale Yarborough diecast back here. So this is one of two ways you can get this car in diecast form. There is the Napa version, which we took a look at back in like March when this car ran. And then this is a more, platinum version of the car. Always good to get them retro diecast. As you probably noticed with all the University of Racing diecast I've been reviewing lately, like I love me some classics, and this is a pretty good one. I will say I do love that they actually did keep the same like weird number thing on the door where the number is the same color as the car. So from far away, it just blends in. You can barely even read the number. I'm glad that they left that the same on the new car. They didn't try to make it like a bright red number or something. But anyways, let's get down to sponsors. You have Holly Farms Chicken, which is now Tyson. Tyson basically bought them out back in like, I think the 90s. And so the company still sort of exists through Tyson, but I don't think the Holly Farms name exists at any point anymore. Got nothing on the front. Down the side, you have Holly Farms. You got Valvoline Max and custom headers. Does have the retro Winston Cup logo. There you can see the Cale Yarborough name in the same font that Joey used on his car. Got some of those retro contingencies and such up front. On the back, you just have a Chevy bow tie. You have Holly Farms Chicken on the deck lid. Got the same stuff down the other side as usual. Take a look under the hood. Nothing on the other side of the hood. There's the engine detail if you want to see it. Deck lid does open. You got your typical old school fuel cell back there. This is, decades before the age of roof flaps. And there's the inside of the car if you want to see that. Like I said, just a really cool throwback. Did seem like this year they basically did just let the drivers choose their throwbacks. So this is what Joey came up with. Because, it does honestly, the colors are close enough that it does kind of work too. Like, that's honestly the funny thing about it, is that, like, Joe even said that in one of his interviews, that, like, the colors ended up working so perfectly that, like, he wanted to do a Cale Yarborough car, and he had a Cale Yarborough car that was yellow, white, and red. So it worked. Because Joe even did say that it was, like, yellow and red, the Cale Yarborough car. So that's why I'm more inclined to believe that the real car was red and the orange is just, like, some photographic stuff. I don't know. Because there's also photos that make it look like the stripe on the side is red, but the roof is more orange. And it's very confusing. But like I said, they did a very good job on this throwback, and it was really cool to see. He even ran a helmet design that looked like Cale Yarborough's helmet. I do remember this race weekend was also when we got spoiled that we were getting a yellow submarine, because some helmet designer, I don't remember who he was, but like posted on Reddit, like, check out Logano's cool throwback helmet. And everyone's like, that looks like Rick Mears' Pennzoil yellow submarine helmet. That doesn't look like Cale Yarborough's helmet. And then like when you saw like him before the race, you could see that he did have a Cale Yarborough helmet that wasn't that same one that the other guy posted. It was like, is he running a yellow submarine? And then a couple months later, boom, yellow submarine. Which didn't get any merchandise. Oh, sorry, it got a helmet. It actually, they made a mini helmet for the yellow submarine, but I'm still annoyed that yellow submarine didn't get any kind of diecast, t-shirt, nothing. But whatever. Anyways, if you want this card as a brand new release, you can get it right now. Some of these throwback cars like this are usually pretty popular, so I would not be surprised if it actually does get a little bit rare, but you never know. Remember, for our diecast needs, you can go to circlebdiecast.com, and if you use the code BWhack, you can get $5 off shipping on any order over $30. Just go through that if you want anything. But I think that's pretty much all there is to say. This has been a review of Joey Logano's Shell-Pennzoil Darlington throwback to Cale Yarborough's Holly Farms car. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.